I've been fishing the same areas for basically 40 years.
It's not an easy life, especially for the younger guys now who are just getting into it.
People don't understand. This is what I like to do. This is what I grew up doing, and I really like it.
My ex-brother-in-law got me on the boat with the guy that I work with now, Dave. And when he walked away, I took the stern man job.
I just started doing it when I was in high school, and I just, I went to college for a few years and just kept fishing after that.
I was probably like 5 or 6. My dad brought home a little lobster and I was mind blown. Ever since then, I always went to the boat with him, helped out as much as I can, and now I work on the boat, so.
I like having them because it gives me somebody I can teach. I probably get another 5 years in this at my age, We'll haul between 300 and 360 pots.
Dock to dock, we're usually home in about 13 hours, so it can be a long day, sometimes longer.
Lobsters change hands so many people, and every time it changes hands, the price just goes up and up and up, I mean, we sell to our dealer, and he sells to like another smaller dealer, and he sells to people.
It's kind of really a dying industry. I think the government really doesn't want it to be in a bunch of small business hands.
As everyone knows, a lot of restaurants started to shut down, which is the main, buyer of seafood, which really put effect on this area in a whole because we have such a big seafood industry here.
I know if we were going to be able to sell our catch, and I don't know what I was going to do. The future seemed pretty unknown for a little while.
When the dealer told us he couldn't take any more lobsters, it was like, now what do we do?
We were kind of like on our way home one day, and it wasn't so much the catch that day, just that they had turned us off. We have gear that's in the water that's catching lobsters, and you can't just let it sit there. Because if you do, it gets destroyed by other fish. Those fish go in there and they die. The lobsters go back in and eat those fish that died. And it's basically just a vicious cycle over and over again. So you really have 2 choices. You find somewhere to get rid of your product, or you take all your gear out and call it quits.
I really thought we were gonna have to pull all the gear out of the water and not fish. It's not good for me, it's not good for my dad, it's not good for the other deckhand, it's not good for anybody.
I mean, that's the only income I got. It's just like, what do you do?
It was scary, really, We had probably about 300 plus pots, probably close to that day would have been about 500 pounds that we probably would have just had to throw back over. So yeah, that would have sucked.
We just started brainstorming, ways that we could, sell ourselves and not rely on essentially the middleman to do it. We created South Coast direct source seafood because it just, at least if no one had any idea what it would be, you would think, okay, we live on the South Coast and it's a direct way to get seafood. And the fishing industry is kind of, most people are old school about it. So my uncle's boss was still like, I don't know if this is the right way to do it. What if we go fishing and no one wants to buy these? Then we're stuck with more lobsters.
Big computer person, a big internet person. It was just unbelievable how many people there was. Like, at first there was a couple hundred people joining every day.
And our friends started sharing it, and then their friends started sharing it, and town pages started sharing it.
And I think it took us, was about a week. We had 3,000 followers in a week, which we were blown away by. We were like, man, if we could just, retain, a third of these people and turn them into seafood eaters and fresh off the boat, we're all set. And then another week after that, we were at 7,000 or something like that. Another week after that, it was over 12,000. The radio station picked it up, and then it was on.
South Coast Direct Source Seafood Facebook page, and it is the rage right now on the South Coast.
Went fishing on a weekend. We came down, we always used to do first come, first serve. We came down and there was a line all the way from the dock all the way out to Route 6.
At the beginning, we did a farmer's market style because the idea behind the whole thing was to make sure that everyone gets rid of their catch. We don't have live wells at our homes, so whatever we come in with at the time, we had to sell because there was no one to sell it to. The demand got so big, we realized that, you know, we needed to bring other boats on, which is just as good of a feeling as helping all these other guys out.
A lot of the people are coming by to support local fishermen, and other ones are coming by because you can't go to the supermarkets, or you know, the supply chain has been disrupted, so they're not available. So it's kind of a win-win for both, the public and us.
But everybody, because the consumers are getting a great price for their seafood, and we're able to take care of our families at the same time.
Me and my brother and sister are living together, and my mom emailed us about the fishermen like selling directly lobsters, so we're gonna do a lobster bake.
This particular area, there's really nowhere to go down to the waterfront and get, you know, fresh seafood off the boat. No one really promotes it. You know, you can head to Newport, Rhode Island, and they do it down there, and you can head up to Gloucester, and they do it up there, and guys do it in Maine.
You said 7?
Who does it around here?
We're at 7, 8, 9.
9, 10, 11, 12.
You know, it kind of keeps the dealers in check a little more, and you know, because they see what's going on, and you know, right now a lot of the dealers have low prices, and if it wasn't for this, I don't think they would.
You know, we actually had been contacted by bigger businesses, and really we were just into it to really help guys pay boat payments. We weren't into it to help millionaires make more money. You know, they have money to fall back on. All these guys don't have money to fall back on.
Right now we're probably about $1.50 behind, you know, the price we were getting from the deal last year. You get $1.50 and you're catching 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of lobsters a week. I mean, you're basically losing $5,000 a week. You know what we're doing here at the dock kind of softens the blow a little bit.
The 4th of July, I think we got rid of almost 2,000 lobsters that weekend. Father's Day was another big one. We got probably rid of another couple thousand that weekend.
There's actually a lot of people that started doing this just after we started it.
I think a lot of people didn't realize that they could buy directly off of boats, which I think is kind of everybody's fault, really. You know, once upon a time, people did it. Guys used to sell it, but it's just easier to pull up to a door, sell your product, go home.